Hello guys, just wanted to make a little video, little tips and tricks when if you buy like my kits and you're doing the dash yourself on how to wire it and stuff. So this video is just for tips on how I do it, how I build it with my little column kits myself, and how I suggest you do it. It's definitely more work than I see anyone else do, but the end result's way better, and I'll show you what I do. So first, I lay out the old harness untouched. I ditch this stupid plastic piece, and then I take off some of the loom, and then this is to the column. I take off all this tape. I take off this junk. That's all for the column. Take it all off down to here, and then I clean all the wires. I just use brake cleaner and a rag because they're sticky and gross. So I clean all the wires, and then same thing with the AC ones. I do the same because the tape's usually garbage on there. So I do that. Just any ones I know I'm going to use, I just clean it. Now's the chance to cut off the plug for the radio and solder on your new radio pigtail. Just stuff like that. I just get it to where it goes on here, and I mount it from behind. So I'll flip it over in a minute and I'll show you how I route it. I almost route it like how it is on the factory. So it literally sits on the back side of here and just runs along the back side, through the little gap on the back of this pipe. So, and then I just route it down to here, and I use the new fuel switch too. So first things I do, I tear the dash completely down apart, and I grind off a couple things. I definitely grind off this center section so the AC controls clear it, or this thing's just always in the way. If you're trying to get your AC controls here for the radio wires or whatever, it's annoying. And then the other thing I grind that I haven't done on here is in here I grind off this middle piece so the cluster wires have more room to flex around. And then what else I cut off? That might be it. Just those couple things. Next up I do is, I paint it, make it nice and pretty. And then I do all the ducking work. That is the next step. I make sure the ducting work is 100% squared away before I wire anything. So once the ducting is where it's supposed to be, then you know that you can route your wires around certain areas. So, what else? Then I mount the things called the hardware, like the steering column. I mount my fuse boxes there on my 6.7 dashes, and then I mount my relay setup. This is a 16 dash, it's not an 08, but I build them the same way. So I mount the columns, I'll mount the airbag, I'll just mount all the hardware stuff so I know when I run my wiring exactly how long the length of my stuff needs to be. So that being said, I take apart most of the new harness and I take all the plugs I need, like for the column. This dash has power inverters, cigarette lighters, stuff like that. So I try to use most of the new plugs I can because the old ones would be brittle. So, and then, so now you got I always make sure they're super long. I know they're only going to my relays right here, but whatever way I want to route it, I want to make sure I have enough wires. So make sure that your new wires are plenty long. So, and then the only difference really on this 16 dash that I do different on the 08s is I still have on this relay pack, and I usually mount it right here in the middle, right where this fuse box is at. And then most people mount their fuse boxes upside down right here, and they just have a little square piece of metal and bolt it using these two pointed down. Because to mount it here, you have to grind out this little section to make some brackets, and then you have to cut and lengthen and shorten almost every wire that goes into this. So it's a whole project just to mount it here. It's not, you just can't pull the wires and mount it there. You gotta chop up all the wires that go to it, to the gem module and to the back of this fuse thing. So it's a project mounting it here. So most guys just mount it here. So, because you're messing with a lot of wires when you change it, when you put the fuse box there. So that's a heads up. So, but most of my 08 guys just mount this here. Use the 2 sheet metal screws in the hole and mount it to this section. Don't mount it here, mount it here. So, and then you can let it dangle or do whatever. I do this, it's a lot more work, but it's a lot nicer. So if you want to go ahead and mount your stuff there, and if you have this on your 08 dash and you can mount it over here, feel free. What you could do is, the 08 does not have this relay set up. This is a 6-7 thing. You could take out this and then you could cut off this bracket, and you could possibly just use the 2 holes and mount this straight to here. So if you wanted, you know, there's all kinds of ways you can do it. As long as you mount this wherever you want and the wires reach and everything's good, then you're good. So just got to make sure nothing's hitting and nothing's interfering, you know. So make sure nothing's hitting your brake pedal, because that does move back here. So yeah, other than that, that's all I can say is take your dash apart, paint it, cut what you need to cut, do all the ducking work, put on the hardware stuff, run all the wires. Then before you do the final assembly, put it in the truck and make sure it runs, okay? Plug everything in, make sure it fires up, turn signals work, make sure everything works the way it's supposed to, because you don't want to put this thing 100% together, put it in the truck and find out one wire up where you can't get to isn't right. Then I have to tear it all back out and tear it down. It's a lot easier to put the dash in the truck just like this. So that's what I suggest. Run all your wires, put it in naked, everything's good, take it back out. Because if you're having problems over here with these relays, you can access them super easy right now. Versus if you have the skin and all the stuff on there, nah. So it's a project, take it in and out, you know, a handful of times. But I mean, what, you spend an extra couple days for a truck that you're gonna have for a long time. I think it's definitely worth the sacrifice of a couple days work to make sure it's right. So that's how I do it. So once it's all right, I put the skins on, I put most of the panels on. The only one I don't put on is the glove box and the fuse box one. When I do the install in the truck, I literally lift this whole thing and put it in together. If you go look at an old video on the white Harley truck, I put the dash in 5 minutes, and under 5 minutes the truck's running. So that's how you should do it. I feel like Ford puts it in as one piece, so should we. So that's the little tips and tricks I wanted to give today. I am starting to build 6-7 columns for people who want to run their 6-7 dash and their fuse thingy for the 6-7. So something I just started doing, still working on instructions, just working on a bajillion projects. So there's so many projects, it's ridiculous. The whole back of the truck's full of projects too. It's ridiculous. And I only try to bring projects to the house that I'm doing right now. So I still have tons of projects at other customers' house. I still have clusters to do. I still have to do a cluster for me. My truck's not even done. But it is what it is. So just want to say, have a good weekend. Let me know if you have any questions. Put them in the comments. I definitely like answering questions. I just can't think of all of them. So I know y'all gonna have some questions. Let me know what they are. I'm not going to tell you how to wire this up. I'm not going to tell you how to build a relay pack. Support me and buy my kit. So, yeah. Adios. Have a good weekend.